Hi, I'm Tyler. This is my module 2, and I have my phone situated on my laptop, so I have bullet points to the side, and so that's kind of why I'm looking this way all the time. But grading is seldom easy or pleasant. I know this because my mom's a 30th year first grade teacher, and she spends a lot of overtime and late nights getting some work done, and those aren't really things you think about a lot of times. And so the first part, how you keep students informed of the progress during the grading term, how will achievement be monitored and recorded. In middle school, one of my teachers in 7th grade, I believe, didn't send home any kind of progress report or any kind of feedback home, no online Canvas type um, website you could log in and track it. So it really annoyed my mom, even though she knew I had good grades, she couldn't track it really. But most other classrooms, and what I like to have in mind is more of a progress folder, and every week just send home the work we've done. If there's like short little quizzes or like work the student may be proud of, like if there's something colored or they wrote an own original piece, and and they can see 1 through 4, with 3 being satisfactory, good, 4 being just awesome, top of the top, and so they can see how their child kind of stands in relation to what is expected, and they can help them study, make that change, get in contact with me or teacher in general. And then also Power School. My high school had it, elementary, and I'm sure other schools had it. I'm not sure, but it is literally just you log in through the portal. Each student has their ID, like individual grade book. You can go on and check it anytime. It's pretty cool. Um, Next question: how will effort knowledge be weighed in your grading? There aren't many things that you can grade necessarily on effort, because 2 plus 2 is 4. If you do it in a heartbeat or take an hour, it's not going to change. But if there are 2 students and one is more advanced, but one day they turn in the same work, the less advanced student may have given his all, or at least decent amount of promise, while the better student didn't. And you can tell that by the same grade or lower, and you can work with him, tell them like, hey, this is not the work I expect of you, and so on. But how does good or bad behavior affect grading? It can't directly affect your grades, the numbers, but I know in my mom's class in her school was different than the school I attended, and I really liked how they did it. They had the student conduct grades, went home every 9 weeks, every quarter, if that's how you did it, with S, N, and U, satisfactory, needs improvement, and um, unacceptable or unsatisfactory. It was something like that. I can't remember. And then, but that's kind of long term. It's kind of, when it's too late, sort of. So every day there is a folder that I'd like to have, and you have to have sign it, and it has your homework in it, just a sheet each day. And there's a grid, like a mini calendar, and each child at the end of the day go around, and there's a little sticker, and they get, it's either a smiley face or a frown face, and that little indicator where they get can tell the child's parent, like, hey, there was something, they had an issue today, with a little note, so they can address it with their child if they need to. Or a smiley sticker, like, hey, your kid's doing well. Yeah, it's kind of self-explanatory. And for the last question, it deals with my choice of question, deals with the role of male, female student, um, teacher. And for the teacher, I'd like to specifically address that. Everybody likes or tends to like male teachers better. Like they get a lot more positive feedback, I feel like, but I don't know any specific reason why. Um, but man is like a caregiver, is like a all the way back in the day. That's not a stereotype. That's more for women. Like teaching, especially for lower age groups, is more of a feminine stereotype. And so, as hard as to say, a lot of rules with like contact and touching, because when a male teacher wants to be around little kids, there is kind of that immediate. And because I remember when I did my like teaching visits in both classrooms, first grade in Wilmington here and back from my hometown, they both told me, I knew it wasn't me personally, but it was inclusive because of those types of rules, like, hey, you're not allowed to touch kids, blah, blah, blah. If they come up to hug you, um, just avoid it. Just don't encourage any kind of contact. And it's not a big deal really, but it's just kind of sad that that's kind of, I don't know, not that I'd go around and be hugging kids anyway, but still, like. And also, most importantly, besides like a stereotype, it's kind of irrelevant. As a role model, a male teacher can play a big role, not necessarily bigger than a female's, but uh, it is a role that a female can't give to students, because there's about a 70%, I can't remember the exact percentage, of single parent households, and most of the time that's a female. The mother gets the children, so there's no father role model, there's no positive role model. That's the sort of stereotypical thing. And when you have a good principal, good teacher that happens to be a male, then they can really look up to that person, whether they're a good teacher that they like or not. They still express those motives and things as such. So as sports coaches, um, kids, teenagers, especially teenage boys, one of their role models might be one of their coaches. It's a man that works hard, has worked with them, has achieved what he wanted to do. Same with the teacher. If there's a man in front that can teach him, has a job, went to college, has been successful, dresses nice every day, khakis, button-up shirt, or maybe a tie, that there is a way, like, you can be successful in life, and there is a good way to act and a bad way to act, and you can find your way. But that's just about all I can say. I'm at 8 minutes, and kind of rambling. This is my first video, but all right, well, thanks. Bye.